You're listening to Radio 1 International, where music meets sports, where love stories go viral, and where culture finds its heartbeat. And today, we pause the rhythm to pay tribute to a man whose life was more than fashion, more than luxury, more than success. Today, we honor Giorgio Armani, the Italian visionary who changed the very definition of style, who has passed away at the age of 91. Signor Armani, as he was respectfully known by those closest to him, passed peacefully at home, surrounded by those he trusted and loved most, and as his team confirmed, he remained tirelessly dedicated to his work until his final days, a fitting end for a man who spent his life in pursuit of elegance, balance, and beauty. His journey into fashion began not with fame or glamour, but with a quiet curiosity. Originally studying medicine, Armani found his true calling in design, where he would go on to redefine not just how we dress, but why we dress. Emerging in the mid-1970s with a vision that challenged every rule, Armani stripped the stiffness out of menswear and introduced something radical at the time: softness. His suits, unstructured, relaxed, fluid, became the defining look of a new generation. They spoke to a kind of quiet power, a confidence that didn't need to dominate a room, but simply own it. His neutral color palettes, fog grays, desert beiges, softened blacks, were inspired more by nature than trends, and his fabrics, often blending silk and wool or linen, felt like air against the skin. As fashion writer Judith Thurman described it, Armani's style offered power, nonchalance, sexual cool, entitlement, but always with restraint. It wasn't just about dressing up, it was about dressing inward, giving form to who someone was, not just what they wore. Armani's brilliance didn't end with menswear. He brought that same clarity and refinement to women's fashion, not with flashy silhouettes or loud statements, but with pieces that empowered. At a time when women were fighting for space in the boardroom, Armani gave them the wardrobe to match, adapting men's jackets for female forms, keeping them light, sleek, and credible. "I wanted a style in women's dressing that was closer to reality," he once said, "clothes to make her more credible in a business meeting." His evening wear evolved into floating fabrics, shimmering details, and effortless draping, where the body wasn't restrained, but honored. While Yves Saint Laurent celebrated female power with tuxedos and sensuality, Armani offered something more elusive: grace. That subtlety became his trademark, and it would capture the attention of Hollywood, forever changing the relationship between fashion and film. His major Hollywood breakthrough came in 1980 with American Gigolo, when Richard Gere tossed Armani suits onto a bed in what became an iconic cinematic and fashion moment. From that point forward, Armani and Hollywood became inseparable. He dressed Diane Keaton, Michelle Pfeiffer, Julia Roberts, Jodie Foster, Cate Blanchett, and Zendaya, not just for red carpets, but for roles that shaped our cultural imagination. Films like The Untouchables and The Wolf of Wall Street bore his sartorial signature, while stars like Russell Crowe, Angelica Houston, and Martin Scorsese became loyal fans. Armani's red carpet era didn't just elevate his brand, it transformed the entire industry, turning premieres and award shows into fashion stages where elegance reigned over excess. Despite his celebrity reach and billion-dollar empire, Armani remained intensely private, grounded, and hands-on. A known perfectionist, he oversaw every photo shoot, every collection, every model's hair and makeup. He once said he looked forward to Mondays more than weekends, because work, for him, wasn't work. It was life. That passion translated into a global brand that now spans not only clothing but also fragrance, beauty, furniture, hotels, restaurants, and even sports. He owned the Olimpia Milano basketball team and had long-time partnerships with Ferrari and Formula One, always merging high performance with high design. He also invested in architecture and interior design, proving that his vision of elegance extended far beyond the runway. Yet for all his success, Armani was also a man of principle. In 2006, he became the first major designer to ban dangerously underweight models from his shows, after the tragic death of Anna Carolina Reston. He made clear that fashion should inspire, not harm, and that beauty must never come at the cost of health. He also famously rejected multiple offers to sell his company, turning down giants like Gucci and Italy's Agnelli family. He refused to list his company on the stock market, protecting its soul from dilution. "Success for me has never been about accumulating wealth," he once said, "but the desire to say, through my work, the way I think." His empire, now estimated at nearly $10 billion, remains one of the last truly independent fashion houses in the world. This independence extended to his personal life as well. Armani never married and had no children, but defined family as a unity of purpose, nourished by sincerity, loyalty, and fidelity. His inner circle was small, trusted, and deeply involved in the company's operations. His sister Rosanna, his nieces Silvana and Roberta, his nephew Andrea Camerana, and his longtime collaborator Leo Dell'Orco formed what he called his emotional nucleus. Roberta, daughter of his late brother Sergio, gave up her acting career to join her uncle and eventually became the brand's director of public relations, the public face Armani himself often avoided. Armani had long planned for life after him, and in his 2021 memoir Per Amore, he wrote with clarity and pride, "There will be an Armani after Armani." And now, that plan will unfold, not through cold corporate takeover, but through people who lived and worked by his side for decades, who understand not just the designs, but the values behind them. As tributes continue to pour in from the worlds of fashion, film, politics, and sport, one thing becomes clear. Giorgio Armani didn't just dress us, he refined us. He taught the world that elegance doesn't need embellishment, that simplicity can be revolutionary, and that true style is eternal. He gave us not just suits and gowns, but a language, one that whispered rather than shouted, that embraced the body rather than dictated to it, and that continues to shape how we express ourselves today. So here on Radio 1 International, where stories like his remind us why culture truly finds its heartbeat, we remember the legacy of Giorgio Armani, a man who never needed noise to make a statement, because his silence said it all. His legacy is not only stitched into garments, but into the way we move, the way we live, and the way we understand the timeless power of being simply, beautifully ourselves.